So as you may know, Boston's a very seasonal place, and that affects the real estate market in a significant way. Today we're going to talk about my favorite months to buy, my favorite months to sell, and then least favorite to buy and sell. So let's jump right in. So the year typically picks up with inventory slowly rising in January and February. Similarly with buyers, they're starting to scroll through on their phones, starting to dip their toes in the open houses over the weekend, depending how cold it is outside and how much snow we get. But come March, especially the end of March, beginning to April, is when inventory really starts to ramp up. And that's probably my favorite time. So I would say my favorite month has to be March, end of March, or maybe probably I'd say April if I had to have a favorite month. And why that is, I think the most important thing of choosing that March-April point is beating out inventory, but being on the market when you have the most amount of buyers. I really don't think you're missing out on buyers if you're at the end of March. I really think that even if they're not actively out looking at open houses, putting in offers, they're there looking, scrolling around on the internet. And if the right property comes about, if your property is the right property, they're going to aggressively go see it. So not only is timing really important for any property, but it really matters like what price point your property is, if it's like fixed up or ready to go, if it's turnkey, if it's like new buyer price point, or if it's like someone who's upgrading to their second or third home price point. So those are all really important things to consider when pricing and really affecting the timing of a sale. Now, I would say my least favorite month to list a home would have to be November. Middle of November, we'll say. The reason my least favorite time is November is because a lot of people just don't like having to deal with moving their junk and physically moving during holidays. And if you find a place at the beginning of November, you're probably moving right around Thanksgiving. And if you find something anytime in the month of November, you're likely closing near the end of December, which is right around holidays for a lot of people. So I get a very common message from a lot of my clients right in the first 1 to 3 weeks of November. It's, hey Dave, we're just taking a pause for the next like 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. We're gonna pick it up strong at the very beginning of next year, but just so you know, we're gonna kind of like shut things down. So to me, I'm getting that text from a lot of my clients. That would not be a time I would prefer to list. Now, if I'm buying a place, I think those are some of my favorite months to buy. I know, yes, you're gonna have more inventory in the spring. There's going to be more options in the spring, but I actually keep such a vivid eye, just such a strong eye on the market during the winter, probably from like November to end of January. I'm checking it every day, just looking for anything that's available because inventory is really low. But when someone puts something on the market the weekend before Thanksgiving or the weekend before Christmas, it's not because they just decided, hey, why not? It's because time is an issue. They've likely bought another house, or they're moving because they just got a fantastic promotion or something, so they've chosen to jump ship, but they're not looking to get the most amount of money possible for their place, or they would have timed it a little differently. Someone who lists in November, right next to a holiday, that person time has gone up on their priority list, and it's changing more than prices. So that's someone who's going to be negotiable because they really care about closing quickly. So I would say overall, my favorite time to sell a house would have to be March, April. My least favorite time, November, December. And again, to buy, there's advantages to buying in the spring. You have a lot of inventory, but you have a lot of competition. And why I like buying in the winter, sure, inventory is not great, but you're definitely going to do the best on price. Hope this was helpful. If you're thinking of listing, make sure you talk to a professional. We always love to help. But again, your price, the time of year, the price point, and what type of avatar buyer should all really heavily play into where you price it and what time in that market you put your house on the market. So hope this was helpful. Hope you guys have a good one.